Okay, we're going to turn this lesson into many videos so Delaney has a whole crowd of violins talking all at once. Anyway, let's do a little bit of a warm-up problem to remember what we were doing in the last video to find the extrema and the inflection points. So the very first part of this IB test question says that we're going to use the fact that the first derivative equals this to show that the second derivative equals that. So basically, I just need to find the derivative of that. All right. They give you this, that they turn this into a show question so that you can still answer part B if you weren't able to do part A. Part A is the difficult part of it. Okay, so as we're working through, I can see I have a quotient here, so I'm going to work with the quotient rule. U is equal to negative 48x, with V equaling x squared plus 12 quantity squared. The derivative of U is going to be negative 48, and the derivative of V, I have to use the chain rule, so it equals 2 times x squared plus 12 multiplied by the derivative of the inside, which is 2x. So I can simplify that to 4x, x squared plus 12. And now I set up my quotient rule. So I have my x squared plus 12 quantity squared times negative 48 minus negative 48x, that's a 4 in there, times 4x times x squared plus 12, and that's all going to be divided by, oh, that was ugly, I want to change that. And that's all going to be divided by v squared, so that's x squared plus 12, and something squared to the second power is going to be now to the fourth power. Okay, first thing I notice is that I can actually factor out an x squared plus 12 from each of these three terms. So this one's going to go away, this one's going to turn down to a first exponent, and this will turn down to a third exponent. As I rewrite this, I'm going to also do some simplifying. So what have I got going on here? Yeah, let's go ahead and distribute this negative 48 to both of those things. So that becomes negative 48x squared plus, and negative 48 times 12 is negative 576, which means I need to turn that to a minus sign. Negative 576. All right, I canceled that out. So really all I have to do is multiply my 48 times my 4 and x times x, and realize that I have two negatives, so that turns it into a plus sign there. And 48 times 4 is 192. 4 times 4 is 60, and 192x squared. And that's all over x squared plus 12 quantity cubed. Now, if I was just working this problem out myself, I would leave it here as my answer. That would be my answer. Heck, I might even leave it as the one above that. But it very specifically wants me to get it into this form. So somewhere in here, I need to recognize where this 144 comes from. And I start thinking about the fact that I can combine these x squared terms. And if I do that, I get 144x squared minus 576 in the numerator, and x squared plus 12 cubed in the denominator. And I can see that this is divisible by 144, and some of you might not have seen that, but you could probably guess that that's probably divisible by 144 now that we know that it needs to be this way in the answer. And it is actually. So 144 can be factored out, and that leaves me with my x squared minus 4, because 4 times 144 is 576. And that's now divided by x squared plus 12 to the third. Now, this step up here of canceling out that x squared to the 12th, some of you may not have recognized, but the other thing I want you to do is look at what form it wanted you in. All of a sudden, we knew it should have been to the fourth power down here because we were squaring something that was already squared. But it came down to only being to the third power. So what your mind needs to do in that point is say, okay, so how would I have gotten that down to the third power? And the only way you're going to do that is by factoring something out. And don't make the mistake and think we just cancel it out from over here or cancel it out from over here. If we're going to factor it out of a rational expression, it has to be factored out of each term. So it had to come out of the 2 terms in the numerator and 1 term in the denominator. All right, so part B then says, now find the relative extrema. So that means the minimums and the maximums, right? The minimums and the maximums are based off of when the first derivative equals 0. So that means I'm going to have 0 equaling negative 48x. Why did I just write negative 48x and not the whole thing? Well, if the fraction is equal to 0, all I really need is the numerator to be equal to 0. So that means x, oops, pressed a button, x equals 0. So I know I have a point where the x value is 0. I just have to determine whether that's a maximum or a minimum, and I can do that with a sign diagram. So what happens when I substitute a negative number into this first derivative? Well, the bottom was always going to be positive because it's being squared. And if I put a negative number in, that means this turns into a positive because it's a negative times a negative. If I substitute a positive number, the bottom's not going to make a difference because it's being squared, and a negative times a positive would make this part negative. So a positively sloped curve to a negatively sloped curve would get me a maximum. So I have a maximum at 0, and I need to find out where this thing is going to be 0 by going back to the original function. So I have f of 0 equals 24 over 0 plus 12. So that just becomes 2. So I have a maximum point at 0, 2. Okay, and then the next job is to find the inflection points. The inflection points are where the second derivative equals 0. And I go through the same process, I'm just doing it with the second derivative now. So my second derivative was given, even if I did it wrong and didn't come up with it, I could still use this. And so I'm going to say that 144 times x squared minus 4 equals 0. So x squared minus 4 equals 0. So x squared would equal 4. So x would equal positive or negative 2. So I'm going to have inflection points at negative 2, and I'm going to have another one at positive 2. So these are my inflection points. All right, and if I substitute negative 2 in up here, f of negative 2 is equal to 24 over negative 2 squared is 4, plus 12 is 16. 8 goes into there 3 times and into there twice, so I got 3 halves. And I'm still going to get 3 halves because when I, f of 2, of positive 2, is still going to get me 3 halves. Because when I put 2 or negative 2 here, it doesn't matter. It gets me the same value. So I have 2 points of inflection. I have 1 maximum point. Okay, so that's what this is telling me. Now what we're going to be working on in this lesson is we're actually going to be looking at the 3 equations that we graphed multiple times last time. We went through and found the first derivative, and we found the second derivative, and we found the third derivative. So hopefully you took notes on it, and you have those. I can go back into Flipchart and pull up what I did. And we're going to use all of that information to actually put these things on a graph and look at the graphs of the original function, the first derivative, and the second derivative.